round of applause, Dave Delaney to the stage.
Thank you very much.
You can start.
Throughout this talk, I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. And hopefully you'll get a better appreciation at the end of the talk, the value of questioning. Because often they are at least important, if not more important than the answers. Because when we don't stop and ask ourselves questions in life, we're literally disenfranchised. We're disempowered to be able to put things in place to help us have a better life. I developed a system called Reset, resilience through empowerment, self-awareness, empathy, and time. And people used to come to me and say, Dave, I'm overwhelmed with so much information. I don't know where to begin. So I came up with 3 questions that work professionally and privately. And it's as simple as this. Where am I? Where would be a good place to be? And when we have those points, we can now map a pathway to them. Let me give you an example. Let me ask you a question. Is there anything you could be doing to improve your own lives, but you're not doing it as often or well as you could?
Yes.
Of course, right? You already know that, you just paused. So you don't need anybody else. We're conditioned to think that we need something outside of ourselves to improve our lives. But just those couple of seconds, you already have a starting point. Let me ask a question. Please stand up, anybody here who has never made mistakes or has no vulnerabilities, has no stress and no challenges in their lives. Thank you for your honesty. But the reality is, we're all more the same than we are different. It doesn't matter your age, your gender, your financial state, your nationality, your skin color, your orientation, your religion. What makes us the same is that we have feelings, and life is a struggle, and we all have vulnerabilities. And that allows us, when we understand that, to have empathy for ourselves and therefore empathy for others. So where are we? We live in a society that's always on, technology addicted, we're cognitively overloaded and overstimulated. We have a society that's conditioning us to be economic entities and feel we're not enough, that we have to keep chasing and striving for something else. But that's not true. What we could focus in is meaning over money, or cash, contentment over cash. Let me give you an example. Would you like to be a millionaire? If I write a check for $1 million, would you like it? Okay, here's a check for $1 million. Only thing is, you now have chronic fatigue, you can't get out of bed. That's your life from now on. Do you want to keep the money?
No.
Okay, right, look, I'll tell you what, we go again. Here's $1 million. This time you have great health. But you book your favorite restaurant for something to eat, but you're on your own because you now have no friends or family, and that's your life going forward. You're going to be isolated. Surely your life would be probably less rich and more... it would be more joyful if we had people in it, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, do you want to give me back the money? Oh. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what. You seem like a nice bunch. Here you go. Here's $1 million, right? This time you have great health, you have amazing friends and family, and you're doing brilliant. You're working for a pharmaceutical company, you're up on the top floor. The only thing is, your success is built on the unnecessary suffering of the children that take it, and it shortens their lives, and you've just discovered that. Do you want to keep in that position?
No.
No, hopefully not. But that's how we understand meaning and value. Imagine a chair that has 4 legs: health, family and friends, meaning and value, and the last one maybe wealth, financial wealth, so money and possessions. Think about the people you know and yourselves. How many of those legs do we invest in? Often people only invest in 1, maybe 2. Imagine what life would be like to sit on a chair with only 1 or 2 legs. How much energy that would take, how much it would take, and how hard it would be to stay upright. But if you had a chair with lots of support, then life would be much easier and you'd be able to flow through it and have more content. But I want you today to not invest in external things, but internal things, the 3 B's, the body, the breathing, and the brain. And when you can combine those, you can change how you relate to the world. Let me ask you a question. Why do we breathe?
To live.
To live, okay. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. We breathe to generate power. But I also used to gig in the hard rock. I studied 9 years by night to get 2 masters, wrote a book while working. I know what it's like to be time pressure and exhausted. What do we consume when we're tired to get a boost? Caffeine. But I found out you can do dynamic breathing, which has the same effect, but not the side effects. You do that, you get the high, but you don't have the same lows and the same side effects. So, I also teach Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, we breathe to massage the internal organs, to change the heart rate variability, to improve resilience, change the brainwave patterns. Actually, I'd like you to just watch me do Tai Chi for a couple of seconds. Don't judge it as good or bad, whether you like it or not, just watch. Are you feeling very stressed? How do you feel? Are you you're relaxed? Is your breathing fast? Oh my God, he's doing Tai Chi. No, slow and steady. Is your mind racing or is it still? And space. Wow. So what you're telling me is I'm up here doing all the work and you're just observing what I'm doing and it's changing your neurology, your psychology, your physiology. You are impacting on your mental, emotional, physical processes by what you take in, by how you breathe, by your posture. I went to a cardiologist to get my heart scanned when I was 50 and he said, give me a lot of money, and I gave him a lot of money and said, you're fine. I said, okay, I'm going to get my money's worth. I said, excuse me, if somebody comes into you and they're breathing maybe through their mouth and their inhale is shorter than their exhale and they're over breathing, which most of us are doing now, won't that increase the heart rate, the blood pressure, the adrenaline, the noradrenaline, the neural activity, anxiety and stress? And he goes, yes, Dave, I know this. I'm a cardiologist. I said, brilliant. What if somebody comes into you and they're breathing slow and steady in and out through the nose, diaphragmatically into the abdomen, and maybe their exhale is slightly longer than their inhale and there's a pause? I said, wouldn't that have an opposite effect? Wouldn't that tend to bring down the blood pressure and the heart rate and the stress and the anxiety and the worry? And he goes, Dave, I've been studying for 20 years. I'm the professional. I know this. What's your point? I said, what if somebody has poor posture? Like most of us do with tablets and phones and computers and sitting in cars. Our ribs come in, the diaphragm can't move freely. So we're breathing high in our chest. It's harder for venous return. It puts more stress on the body. He goes, I know this, Dave. What's your point? And I said, one last question. How many patients have you ever suggested that if they improve their heart, or if they improve their breathing, or they improve their posture, it can immediately have an effect on their heart? And he said, none. Now, luckily, I now went into University College Dublin, into the medical school and presented this. And I'm now a guest lecturer in first year medicine to demonstrate how we can affect our mental, emotional, and physical processes by the 3 Bs. So let me give you another example. So where are we? We live in a society that feels that we're not good enough, that we always have to chase. It would be great to have space and time, wouldn't it? That's where we would like to be, to make decisions by asking questions. That's how we get there. So how do we do it? So I'm just going to teach you a very quick breathing technique. It's the triangular breathing. In for 2, out for 3, pause for 2. So just tuck your chin, let your head go towards the ceiling, tuck your tailbone, and let your belly button rise a little bit. Decompress your spine. You are kings and queens. Sit up regal. You'll notice you'll be taller. If you look down now at a 45-degree angle, you'll notice your peripheral vision's engaged, your panoramic vision. You would only do that if you feel safe and secure. Your eyes are now telling your brain that you feel safe. So, if you breathe in and out through the nose, slow and steady, your breathing's now telling your brain you feel safe. If you place the tongue on the roof of your mouth, as if you're clicking, but leave it up there and soften the muscles on each side of your mouth. Your trigeminal muscles in your face is telling your brain you're happy. It thinks you're smiling. You're going to change the neurological cocktail you have. So now I'd like you to breathe in for 2, Out for 3. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Breathe in for 2, through the nose and out through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Reset, rejuvenate. Inhale, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Rejuvenate. Keep breathing like that. When you came in here first, you were probably breathing like most people. We now are shifting to over-breathing, which is hugely adding to our anxiety and our not feeling enough and chasing for things outside of us. But when we slow our breathing, we get better blood flow to the brain, we get a better balance in our pH in the blood, we actually get more oxygen into the tissues. We feel energized and calm by slowing the breathing and steadying. So let's just summarize what we've covered. All right. Questions are at least important, if not more important, than answers. That you ask the 3 questions. Where am I? Where would be a good place to be? How do I get there? If you can stop and just notice, because we get caught in a trap of feeling we're not good enough, conditioned by this society, this technology-addicted, always-on society that's trying to upset us. You have the power, the investment of the 3 Bs, your breathing, your brain, your body. You have those, it's free. It's in your control. I'm trying to empower you. If you know that, you're empowered. If you stop and ask the questions, you become more self-aware. If you know we're more the same than we are different, it's easier to have more empathy. And when you breathe slower and actually engage your panoramic vision, your brain processes time differently. Now, we agreed that we all have stressors and anxiety and challenges in life. So I have 2% eyesight. I'm going to go to bed tonight blind, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow blind. And I know so many different types of breathing and meditation, and that's not going to change. But what does change is how I identify and how, when we can take the time to empower ourselves, we can focus on potential over problems. We don't just focus on obstacles, but on opportunities. It's a way of realizing that when one door opens, always one door closes, other doors open. If you tuck your chin and you let your head rise up and you decompress your spine, you're taller. If you change the trigeminal muscles by just placing the tongue on the roof of your mouth and softening these, you're going to be more smiling. People are going to find you more attractive. You will find yourself more attractive. And if you can focus on what you have over what you don't have, if you're always looking to other people that have more, will you always feel like you aren't as wealthy? Of course. But if you know what you have, even think about what money can't buy. You have the potential to be so successful if you just reset and take the time. Thank you so much.